Hey guys, and welcome to Philosophy 101, a series where I actually put my undergrad and master's degrees to good use and help you guys understand some cool philosophical concepts. On today's episode, we'll just be covering what philosophy is so we can set the scene and lay out some necessary groundwork so that we can actually understand the concepts I get into later. On a very basic level, philosophy is the study of questions about existence, knowledge, values, reason, and the mind. And in its most organic state, philosophy aims to understand the way the world works, how it ought to work, but also how it could work. And this is why philosophy is rife with thought experiments about the way the world would be if we did certain things, believed certain things, or if certain things were true. One of the most famous is Descartes' evil demon scenario. In this thought experiment, Descartes says that even though it may appear that he's sitting by a fire, this could be a dream or an illusion that's been imposed upon him by some evil demon. And if that sensory experience could have been caused by an evil demon, then he doesn't really know that he's sitting by the fire. And it's a similar thing with sleeping and dreaming. If we're dreaming, we're not really where we think we are in that dream, we're actually in bed. And Descartes argues that since we can't actually know whether we're dreaming or awake or being controlled by some evil demon, we can't actually know anything, for certain at least. This idea is called skepticism, and it was Descartes' most influential contribution to philosophy. Now, the main philosophical pillars are ethics, metaphysics, epistemology, and logic, with political and social philosophy becoming more and more prominent as society advances. And although I only just mentioned 6, there are some, I guess, less influential but just as important parts of philosophy, like feminist philosophy or the philosophy of mental health. And the reason that these pillars are so important is because no matter what aspect of philosophy you're talking about, maybe it's your favorite or maybe it's the most influential, every part of philosophy will fall under one of those pillars. For example, Aristotle's work on the virtuous man, what virtues are, and how to lead a good life is part of ethics. And that thought experiment I just spoke about with Descartes and skepticism, that's part of epistemology. But why do we love philosophy as society, and why are people becoming more and more interested in it? Well, firstly, we love philosophy because its teachings and concepts are present in everyday life. Every day you'll be faced with some ethical dilemma or a question about if you actually know something. Even better, understanding philosophy makes navigating difficult times and situations much easier because you understand why they happen and how they happen. For example, if you know that someone's a utilitarian, you know that the reason that they broke their promise to come and visit you to take an injured man to hospital is not because they hate you, but because they have a commitment to promoting the most well-being. And because you understand utilitarianism, you don't start crashing out at your friend saying, oh my God, why do you hate me? You understand that it's just because they have this commitment to promoting the most overall well-being. And for those of you that are interested in the trolley problem, utilitarianism is how most people kind of figure that out. Along with that, philosophy gives you access to some really important and useful general life skills like reasoning, argument, and logic, which will be useful to you in whatever line of work that you decide to pursue or just life in general. And take it from me, knowing what a valid and sound argument is has saved me so much time when I debate with people. And finally, we love philosophy because it actually acts as a topic enricher. And what I mean by this is, let's say we love sport, you and I. If we have an understanding of philosophy as well as an understanding of sport, we don't just have to talk about sport. We can talk about the underlying philosophies of sport or the reasons why things happen in sport. Therefore, the kinds of conversations and connections we can build over certain topics are much deeper and richer. So yeah, that's what philosophy is, why it's important, and why a lot of people seem to be turning to it. And now that that's all out of the way, we can actually get onto some of the cool concepts. So I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.